Nice, Gravy Six. How's it going? I'm not sure which part is crazy. Is it me trying to beat the divinity with Stygian Guard? Is it me being on Covenant 17? Or is it me being awake at this time in the morning trying to beat the Stygian Guard in Covenant 17? None of which is going to go well, by the way. We are straight up not going to have a good time here. That last one? Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll see. This attempt has been screwing with me for a while. So we're going to see if I can actually get anything done here. I have no idea if we will actually successfully be able to win in the course of the next 3 hours that I have prior to work. Naturally. Okay. Well, that's annoying. I knew this was going to happen, but... I knew this was going to happen if I did, what's the word I'm looking for? If I did spikes. You're just gonna flat die. Got the extra money. I traded a good amount of health for it. I don't know if that was worth it. Take a proclamation. Let's go this side. What do we got? Cool, we got a Siren of the Sea. Now this is Monster Train. Which, Monster Train is a, you know, roguelike deck builder. You know, think games like, Slay the Spire, if you're familiar with that. It definitely has that kind of, you know, build your deck, go down floors, gradually get stronger. It's kind of a little bit got that tower defense feel to it. So I have enemies that will be entering my train here on this bottom floor. And I need to take them out as they enter and make sure that they do not advance past a certain point. I don't want them to get to this pyre up at the very top. Oh, that's irritating. I'm just trying to stop them as they go up, and then the idea here is that we are, you are irritating. What's more irritating is I can't kill you. So I'm trying to stop enemies from getting to the pyre up top. They will deal damage to my pyre, as this guy is demonstrating. So that pyre up here, this is my actual health in the game. And the big guy here is a boss, so kind of the idea here is that I kind of advance as far as I am able to. And it kills many enemies as I can, and then when the boss spawns, the boss kind of, every enemy kind of, they attack once, right? They do one trade of attacks back and forth with you, and, after they do this kind of back and forth trade, then they move on to the next floor as part of the next turn. Bosses, on the other hand, have a ability called Relentless. And that ability, they just kind of keep on attacking until either they've killed off your entire floor, or the boss themselves die. So what I'm trying to do is to make sure that they die before they get to advance. So I'm choosing kind of one floor that I'm going to kind of settle on. This is going to be the floor that I spend kind of all of my work on, stuff like that. And so we kind of advanced fight by fight. After each of these fights, I get a little bit of money, and then depending on which fight I'm on, it's going to give me another reward. And that reward will kind of help me decide how I am advancing the game. So, you know, one reward may be a new card to add to my deck. So, for example, the Siren of the Sea right here was one such a card. Her entire thing was that she, you know, she kind of advanced my deck a little bit. Another reward might be one of these artifacts up here, which change some of the basic rules of the game and kind of adjust how the game actually plays. So as an example of that is this second artifact here. This second artifact says, sorry, just thinking about what I'm doing. So that second artifact up there says that instead of having 2 upgrade slots, all of my units instead have 3 upgrade slots, which is incredibly useful. Whereas this artifact says that anytime I apply a certain debuff, I get 2 extra stacks of that debuff. And the debuff in question, typically, oh, you jerk. Okay. The debuff in question has a, usually will slowly degrade, as turns pass. But, the effect that I have now says that debuff does not degrade. So it's kind of all of these little small, effects that, that is irritating. So those little effects coming off the artifacts. So I'm really just trying to build a deck that will get me to the end of the game. That is the major goal here. Kind of get as far as I possibly can. Aiming to reach the end of the game where I fight the big mega boss and do, you know, terrible things to him. So yeah, really this is just we're kind of grinding on through. I don't have an amazingly good deck at this time, but we do have a lot of the tools I need in order to actually win. So we'll kind of see what happens. Yeah, Covenant is a challenge mode. So the idea is that I am aiming to defeat something called the Divinity. The Divinity is a The Divinity is a kind of, is a final boss of the game. And, the idea is that when I reach... So, I'm going through these floors, right? The rings of hell. So, as I go down, I'm aiming to get down to this very, very last ring, where I will fight the boss that's on this space. If I have what are called shards, if I have 100 of them, from this counter right here, shards make the game more difficult, but they also give me big rewards if I happen to actually take shards. If I get 100 shards and actually beat this boss right here, the Seraph, then I get to fight the true final boss, the Divinity. If I successfully defeat the Divinity, not only do I get some kind of neat rewards, and I get some, you know, I get to foil my cards and all that nonsense, but also it increases something called my Covenant. Covenant is a rating scale that goes from 1 to 25. I'm on 17 right now. And every level of the Covenant makes the game a little bit more difficult and adds a couple of extra rules. So generally, it makes enemies, you know, stronger, you know, more enemies in any given boss. So instead of maybe 2 enemies per wave, it might be 4 enemies per wave. Bosses have more health. Adding, you know, adding trash cards to my deck, so that way my deck is less consistent. If I happen to beat the Divinity, it will upgrade my, deck. It'll upgrade my Divinity. A little bit like New Game Plus, yeah. Big difference on this between, like, this and a standard New Game Plus is that, in this sort of game, in a roguelike, if you're not familiar with them, there's no distinction between the attempt that I'm doing right now and the New Game Plus. Like, every game is a brand new start. If one of these fights happens to kill me, I just lose. There is no, you know, there is no revert from save or anything like that. I just lose if one of these fights happens to kill me. Which, you know, some people are cool with that sort of gameplay, some people are not. Let's see. If I kill you, I'll do 4, which is 12. It's a lot more damage than I want to take. You guys are going to do 10, and I can't kill you now, so I don't really want to go after you now. This is the wrong Siren in the first place, though. Okay. That's going to be my plan. That's fine. So a lot of what I'm trying to do is I'm just kind of planning, you know, planning my moves, and I'm trying to make sure that as my, damn. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to let him get away. That's fine. I don't really have an attack room. I'm trying to plan my moves kind of ahead of time and make sure that as enemies are gradually ascending my train, that I am prepared for it, that I am set up in such a way that I can actually beat them. You know, there's a lot of kind of moving parts to this game. So one of the big things that we're kind of looking at here is kind of how I build my deck. As I start the game, I get the choice. Fuck you. Knock you to the back. They're both dead. Good. So as I start the game, I get a couple of choices on how I'm going to build my deck. So the choices in there, and you saw some of these as you first came in, was I get to decide what my, first and foremost, I get to decide what my clans are. So we definitely have these different, we have different, like, kind of character types and different clans of hell. And each of these clans has their own style, their own ways of doing things. So first of all, we choose our clan. And then as we go, those clan we get a sub-clan. And that sub-clan chooses some additional cards that we can get. And then as we play, these choices will also decide what enemies I happen to see, or not enemies, what cards I happen to see that I'm drawing. So I'm playing a combination of what are called the Stygian Guard, which are these fish-like creatures that almost all of my cards are Stygian Guard. So I have all of these fish-like creatures. Okay. So I have my Stygian Guard, and then they're a very spell-casting style. So, that's kind of the first step for me, is seeing that I'm playing the spell-casting type thing. That's going to decide a reasonable portion of my deck. And then I have the Worms as my sub-deck, and so they're going to be also contributing cards, as these purple cards right here. And so, the pinkish cards. So the Worms are going to decide a different thing for me. They're going to decide kind of what other rules I happen to play. They decide some of the additional, additional creatures, additional spells. So it's deciding kind of what my deck's going to look like. I also have the choice of a... champion. Each of your major clans has a champion. And, okay. Each of your decks has a champion. My champion is this gal right here, Tethys. And when you start the game, so you start your run, your champion has a choice on upgrades that you can choose. There are 3 upgrades per champion. You get a choice of 2 of them. And that will also decide how you're going to play. So Tethys has a couple of different things she can do. The choice I made was that any damage spells cost 2 less energy on the floor that Tethys happens to be on. And so what this means is that I am playing a very spell-heavy deck. And I want to... And because I'm playing with this spell-heavy deck, it means that I am really... Hey, Urine, how's it going? Because I'm playing with this super spell-heavy deck, it's kind of making choices for me as we go through the game. It's allowing me to kind of say, okay, I'm going to be playing with creatures that are decidedly spell-heavy. So it's synergized with spells, right? So it helps me make my decisions. So when because I'm choosing a very spell-heavy deck, it means I really want to be going on the Stygian Guard side of things, because Stygian Guard really likes spells. They synergize well, just a clan thing. So that's why I have the Siren of the Sea here. Incant is a keyword that says every time I cast a spell on the floor that this creature is on, it gets stronger for the duration of the battle. It gets 2 extra damage and 2 extra health. So I'm trying to... So I have that going on, which means I'm in a slow build kind of deck. I need to kind of protect my line while I'm building this deck up. So kind of lots of moving parts going on is the long and short of it. We're kind of doing a lot of things simultaneously. So mostly I'm just kind of building up. I'm trying to build a deck that can win. And the problem is this deck style that I'm going for here is I hate that you are in my opening hand. Can you just go down here and die? Acceptable. So I have a really it's a really slow to build deck style. You know, I would love to be building faster than I am. You're annoying. Damn. Double annoying. You're gonna kill me? Okay, I think I lose here. That guy is really obnoxious, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to kill him. Yeah, definitely not able to kill this guy. I just lose. Damn. This is a good run. Crap. Okay, well... Not gonna pretend I wasn't expecting something like this. Okay. Damn. We almost survived that. So as I start my run, I get to make my choices. So I'm choosing to go with Tethys. I'm choosing my Wormkin as my sub-unit. I can decide what Covenant I'm playing on. And really, the reason I'm playing with this combination is that the game does track in your logbook. I should have actually looked at that. Is that a start I want? Okay, I can live with that. The game does track in your logbook what completions you have. So I know that I need to get a completion with the Stygian Guard and the Wormkin. So I'm working on getting that completion. It also tracks these, which are mastered cards. Any card that I happen to have in my deck when I beat the divinity, if I beat the game normally, without the 100 shards and all that jazz, I get just a special gold card. But if I happen to have beaten the divinity at the time, not only does the card get a gold border, so the Shardtail Queen is golded, the Hornbreaker Prince is not. So not only do I get the gold border, but I also get this foil on here, which indicates I have beaten the divinity with that card in my deck. So it's kind of another thing I'm aiming for. So the reason I'm playing with Stygian Guard and the Wormkin here is because I just haven't beaten the divinity with this particular color combination. And then you're going to see me make certain choices as I play through the game. And one of the reasons I'm making these choices is I'm trying to get cards in my deck that I've never foiled. But I'm trying to kind of balance those, because generally, if I haven't foiled a card, it's probably not a card I consider to be particularly good. So I'm kind of making this joint decision of, all right. I'm kind of making this joint decision of, like, how, you know, how much do I want to do? So lots of decision making going in. I'll try to describe a lot of it as I go through. I've been kind of just rushing through as I describe the game, but there is kind of a lot going on here, and not all of it is, some of it's interesting, some of it very much isn't. So as we started up, I kind of got the Tethys version that I wanted, and I was also looking at the cards it was adding to my deck. In this game, as you, yeah, I'm a completionist. So as we build up, so the cards that we have in our deck are actually decided to begin with by what my combination is. So because I chose Stygian Guard and because I chose Tethys, that adds these 5 copies of Frozen Lance to my deck. Because I chose Wormkin and I chose the champion for Wormkin that I did, that adds these 5 copies of Echo Brig to my deck. I chose Tethys to have the upgrade for damage spells, so that's why I got this version of Tethys. There's different stats and different effects for different versions of the card. Because I am playing on Covenant 17, that's why I have the 2 dead weights. All these are just dead draws. They don't do anything. They just sit in your deck and they just fill your deck up. And then at the start of the game, we also get 4 Train Stewards added to my deck. These are always added to your deck at the start. So I have those. Again, these are just kind of basic creatures, and all they do is just fill my deck up. And then when you start the deck, the game gives you, randomly from the 2 clans that you have, you get 2 of one common, 2 of a second common, and then 1 of an uncommon. So I got 2 Proclamations as one of my commons, 2 Flash Freezes as another of my commons, and then my uncommon was this Guardian's Amulet. So one thing that I will do is I will kind of reset the run, looking for a kind of a particular setup that will allow me to get further in the run. So after I got the setup that I wanted, the next thing with the question is, do I get the Tethys that I want? Tethys is a very, she's a very odd champion in that she's kind of weak. And 2 of her upgrade paths are all around Tethys attacking on her own. And I don't find them to be particularly good upgrade paths. I'm not very happy with those upgrade paths. So I try not to go for them. So I'll reset until I get the upgrade path that I actually want. So the next decision we made as we started building this deck was at the very beginning. Why? Game, why do you hurt me? Why do you hate me so? I'm angry. That is anger making. So the next decision that we made as we kind of built up was, did I want to... So we got to choose an artifact, and I got to choose one of a number of artifacts. And the artifacts I went for is this one up here called Conscription Notice. When I play my champion, I gain a random unit card. It can be a unit from basically anywhere in the game. I don't know if there's a... I don't know if you can get rares or anything like that, but you just get a unit. The unit has 10 damage more than normal, 10 health more than normal. It's smaller than normal, so it takes less space on the floor, and it costs less. So I get a random unit. So this will allow me to put someone in front of Talus and keep Talus alive. And then you're going to see me going through, and there's going to be these portals in the middle of every floor. These are kind of shard portals. And the big thing about shard portals is they allow me to trade shards for a special effect that I want. Shards make the game more difficult, so choosing to pick up shards will actively make the game harder. But remember, I do need 100 shards at the end of the game to fight the divinity. So I have to decide, do I want to pick up shards, or am I just going to kind of, you know, run as is? This is unpleasant. Okay. So, toss you here. Okay, so, next thing I choose is on any given fight, there's that slider that you see me picking. That's a trial. Trials are also things that just happen to make the game harder. So the trial that I chose increases a buff on these enemies. So these enemies now have spikes. Spikes, if I have a creature that deals damage to a spiked creature, my creature takes damage back. So they spikes 3, so I take 3 damage. So this is causing me to take damage. The problem is, Tethys, who will attack on her turn, only has 5 health. These have spikes 3. If Tethys attacks twice, she dies. So I have to be kind of careful about choosing that. But in return for choosing spikes, I'm going to get more money at the end of this fight, which will lead me to get more items down the line. So it ended up being a good trade-off. And then it's choosing cards. So I chose a card on this floor. I had 2 tracks I could choose from. I'll talk about that more when we actually get to the next one. 2 tracks I could choose from, and they allow me to decide, like, which track am I choosing, allows me to decide what shops I may get, what cards I may get, what rewards I may get, so on and so forth. So I chose the right track, because that would allow me to not only upgrade creatures, but it would also give me a Stygian Guard creature pack. And in that Guard creature pack, I got this rare card, the Lodestone Totem. Every time I cast a spell, the Lodestone Totem applies sap to my enemies. And sap is just this kind of fantastic skill that causes my enemies to do less damage overall. Okay. So I chose that over the other creatures. So these guys are now sapped. You'll see that their damage went from 2 to 0. So they don't do any damage. So now it's a question of how much damage can I deal back? Can I kill them without taking damage? We're going to go ahead and do this. So game is all about choices. What choices am I going to make? So one of the choices I had to make was, where am I going to place this Train Steward? I could have placed him in front of my Wickless Tycoon here and had 4 creatures on this floor. But there's this guy here, this Collector. Collectors show up on non-boss battles. And the thing about Collectors is that they run immediately after the fight is completed. Sorry, not the fight is completed. They run immediately after the turn is completed. If I kill them, I get a bunch of money, but killing them may not be a good choice. Killing them may cause me to take damage that I would not otherwise take, or something to that effect. It might cause me a negative effect that I'm not looking for. Let's see. It's you in front. So I went for killing the Collector because there was no downside to it. It did not cost me anything to kill that Collector. Okay. So all about choices that I have to make in order to make things happen the way I want them to. Mostly my choices are going to be put a tank in front of Tethys and cast spells until my enemies die. And you'll be able to follow along as we go. Do I have a... No. Okay. Let's grab that. Okay, grab that. So you see I got 3 rewards on that fight. Well, the first reward was money. I just got that just for winning the fight. The second reward had a circle around it. That was my trial bonus. Okay. The second reward was my trial bonus, which is extra money I got because I went for that difficult trial. And then I had 2 packs, and I kind of chose things on those packs. First choice I made was to pick up Ice Tornado. Ice Tornado is a pretty beefy spell. It will be free for me eventually, because that's just what Tethys does. And it's going to deal damage to a random enemy unit 3 times. I'm going to be upgrading this Ice Tornado to do a lot of damage, so this is going to end up being eventually a free spell that just does tons of damage. I also chose to pick up Echo Snare. Echo Snare is a consume card, so when I cast it, it goes to my consume pile. It's removed from the game unless I can get it back somehow. So I'm not going to get this back. And it applies Reap 2 to enemy units. Enemy units with Reap take damage in each floor based on me having a certain type of energy on that floor, which I'll talk about when we actually use this. I'm just kind of building up damage and passive damage. And then I get 2 tracks here I get to choose from. Stuff in the middle, I'll get no matter what. So I'll get this artifact if I want it, no matter what. And I'll be able to go to these concealed caverns for some interesting event. Left-hand side gives me a choice of 1 artifact. And then I get some health for my Pyre, so increase my total health. Right-hand side gives me the Merchant of Magic, so I can upgrade my spells. And also gives me a Wormkin banner, so I get a Wormkin unit. This is probably going to be my second to last unit choice. Yeah, I'll get 1 more unit choice on the next floor, and I will be going to the left, so we will be going here. So I think I'm going to skip this Wormkin unit. There's kind of nothing I really want out of them right now, and we're going to go to the left instead, because I would like to get this health and choose some artifacts. Choices here, I'm either going to have the choice to increase the echoes on a floor by 1, so instead of capping out at 4, I can cap out at 5. This would be really good for certain Wormkin units. We're not going Wormkin, so we're going to kind of ignore this for now. And I have Vapor Funnel. When enemies get to the top floor, to my Pyre room, where they're going to deal damage to me, they get dazed for a turn. So my Pyre gets a free hit on all of them, but my Pyre gets less damage. This is really useful to me in case enemies get past. I get a free attack on them. So I'm going to go for that. I'm also going to go for this middle horde, and I get a choice here. Whenever the... a consume card is played for the first time in battle, I get 2 copies of it. That could be really useful. Problem is, I don't really have consume cards. So I could pick that up with the kind of understanding that it's really only affecting this right here, but it could be useful down the line. We could choose the Infused Mallet. There's a 25% chance when an enemy enters my train, they just take 5 damage. This is very useful early in the game, kind of falls off later in the game. You also have Mark of a Champion. When played, my champion gains plus 50% attack. Problem is, my champion, while a good attacker, we don't want her to attack. If she attacks, something went wrong. So I probably don't want to go there either. So I'm going to go for this Consume duplication. We'll go down to these caverns, and we'll see what the effect is. So the effect here is that I get to spend Pyre health to get 1 of 3 different results. If I spend 3 Pyre health, I get a Heartstone, which just gives one of my units more health. Spend 6 gets me an artifact that says that when my Pyre kills enemies, it gets plus 5 Pyre health per kill. And the last one, lose 10 Pyre health. All my units get plus 10 health and Heartless, meaning they cannot be healed whatsoever. We're going to go for Blood for Blood. Kind of combining that Blood for Blood gaining health concept with the stun means my Pyre is going to be healing itself a lot as things get up into that Pyre room. And now we go to the boss. So we get Talus. She has the effect of Powering Offense. So all of my enemy units enter with Rage 2, which means they get 4 extra damage more than they normally would. And Talus will be attacking every turn, which is kind of unique for a boss. Bosses usually don't attack prior to their Relentless phase. If she kills any of my guys, she will gain armor. So I got to be careful of where Talus happens to be at the start. So she's going to be on this bottom floor. I'm not going to be on this bottom floor. We're going to be starting on floor 2 because of that. And I just have to be kind of careful about how I handle things with Talus. Just make sure I do not allow her to attack and get kills. Okay, so Talus went top floor, so I don't really have to worry about her. And my free unit was the Nameless Siren. And the Nameless Siren is fantastic. The Nameless Siren is one of the two Sirens. I think she's the lesser of the two, to be honest. But what the Nameless Siren does is every time I cast a spell, she gets stronger. So we're going to be using her abilities, and we're just going to be powering her up. And she's just going to do boatloads of damage. I'm also going to take advantage of my Echo Seedling here. Unfortunately, Talus is on the wrong floor to really take advantage of it. She's on the top floor. I would prefer her to be here. But Echo Seedling is going to allow me to take this Echo Snare, and I'm going to apply Reap to Talus. Reap doesn't go away, so Talus is going to start taking damage constantly. We'll apply that to her. So Reap says, for every stack of Reap, she takes 1 damage for every charged Echo on the floor. I get charged Echoes by casting a spell with this kind of purple outline. It'll say it's infused. So I'm just going to give her 6 stacks of Reap, and she's just going to passively take damage as she goes around. Okay, so now Talus wants to play on this floor. She's going to do damage. Luckily, my Train Steward, due to this temporary artifact I got, has a damage shield. So it's not going to take any damage, but I don't really appreciate this. So we're going to have to go ahead and take things out. Let's see. Let's go ahead and Ancient Synergy. So we're going to deal damage to these 2 units, buffing my girl. We're going to go ahead and smack this dude. Throw Frozen Lands. These are all just various damage spells, just stacking damage, killing enemies, more importantly, hitting Talus. So now she's got 6 stacks of Reap. I have 6 charges on this floor. She's going to take 36 damage from that. I also put Frostbite on her, so every turn she takes 8 damage. That's going to slowly tick down, unfortunately. But we put a lot of damage on her, and then just from damage on the floor, she's going to take 104 damage. Because I have this totem, I applied Sap to her, so all of a sudden she does less damage on this floor. So we are just kind of getting work done. We are cutting through, dealing damage to enemies. Okay. Let's go ahead and buff you slightly, smack you in the face. Sure. So now we're on the final wave. Talus has gone relentless. So she is just going to keep attacking until things end. Only thing I really want to do is I want to drop a Flash Freeze on her face, and I would really love to kill this thing right now while I have a chance. Just knock it out so she's free. She's got nothing blocking her on me. Okay, now she's just gonna die. We know that by the game actually does give me a little bit of a damage calculation ahead of time. So if you ever watch this number in the upper right-hand corner of any given monster, it says how much damage they're taking. If it's an X, they're just dead. So we know Talus is dead, and I can just let the fight, progress. So we'll get some money. I get a choice of a rare. Good choices here. So Eternal Kinstone on the left-hand side, I get to add a charged echo that cannot be removed. Sometimes things, like, eat charged echoes. So this would give me a recurring spell that would remove that. But Harness the Titan's a really good spell. Harness the Titan says that just for casting it, I get 5 magic power to spells in hand. Permanently upgrades my spell's damage for the duration of the battle. This also happens to be infused. So very, very good spell there. Now I get a unit. I get some choices on what units I want. So I have the Titan Sentry, who is the tank I tried to use last time. He applies Frostbites to enemy units that hit him, so he's just going to make it so enemy units take constant damage as they go. On the other side, we have the Glugsider over here. The Glugsider causes enemies to apply Reap whenever an enemy unit attacks him, so very good at taking out bosses. The problem is he needs Extract 4. Whatever floor I add him to, needs to have 4 charged echoes on it just to drop the Glugsider in play. I think he's kind of a trap for us, so we're going to go for the Titan Sentry. And then we get a choice on how we want to upgrade our train. So I could either get more energy per turn. 200 AP. Yeah, he is a gigantic tank, and he heals himself. The problem is I can't drop him in the game early. He needs me to have cast at least 4 spells that have purple outlines just to place him on the ground. So I have never successfully cast him because he's always in, like, my first 2 hands, and I never see him again, and I can't cast him that early. So I get a choice of 3 choices. Either I can increase the amount of energy I get per turn. Not really important on with Tethys. Tethys casts stuff for free, so we don't need energy. This allows me to draw extra per turn, which is pretty useful. But we're going to go for Light of the Seraph. This says that we get 1 capacity each floor, so I can put more units on a single floor. I have a specific kind of unit setup I really want to have. Okay, fine. And I want to have a certain amount of units. I really want 4 units on my floor here. I want the Lodestone Totem, I want the Nameless Siren, I want the Titan Sentry, and then I want Tethys. And these dots that you see on the top of here is how much space they require. So 2, 4, 5, and then Tethys is 1, which makes 6. Gonna go ahead and upgrade my cards here. So I'm giving all of these upgrades, just makes them stronger. So for like a Titan Sentry, I'm giving it a bunch of health because I want it to last for a while. I want it to be applying this Frostbite debuff against enemies constantly. That being said, what we're actually going to do is we're going to put Endless on him. So if he dies, I just get him back. I feel like we might need that bonus. Because we kind of have a weaker setup here than I really want us to. We don't have as good of a Siren as I would like. We got a Siren that does more damage, but she's significantly more fragile. And there are enemies who can, you know, hit the entire floor at once. There are other enemies who, we're going to set up on floor 2. Okay. I'm gonna place you here. If you die, you die. There's enemies who can sweep the entire floor. She only has 10 health. So kind of a significant chance that, you know, she will die from a sweeper or some other attack that does damage on kind of a mass scale. I need to kill this guy. I don't have a way to kill him. He's going to get away with 75 gold. God, I wish he didn't. But I needed to place this Lodestone Totem. So, not letting him get away was kind of never an option. Okay. So, mostly I'm just buffing the Siren. I'm casting a bunch of spells I don't need to cast in order to buff her. Make sure she does significantly more damage. That was a free creature I just lost. Free as in doesn't... I don't need it. It wasn't important that creature survive. So I'm mostly casting these creatures on this bottom floor to ensure that they actually die. I do want them to go away. Let's buff our Siren. These I'm going to put back in the deck because I want them to be there for the boss. This obnoxious unit that you see right here with the cuffs on, they stuff my deck. They add this Weight of Contrition card to my deck. So I have to cast this. If I don't, my Pyre takes damage. Here's that Harness the Titan. Going to cast it right now. So you're going to see right now, Flash Freeze does 3 damage and adds Frostbite 8. And Ancient Synergy does 38 damage. We're going to cast Harness the Titan, which buffs my Siren. Now Flash Freeze does 8, and Ancient Synergy does 38 plus 5. So all of a sudden, just my spells got significantly stronger. And again, I am mostly casting these spells just to make her damage go up. See, now she has 43 times 2. So at the time, so here, over here on this left-hand side in this lower corner, this is my Ember. That's how much energy I have to cast spells on this particular turn. And at the time, I had 0 energy because the Lodestone Totem costs 3. This stuff costs 0 right now because it's on this floor, the floor where Tethys is. But if I go to a different floor, you'll notice that the price changes. So I had no energy to cast on the Collector, unfortunately. Believe me, I wanted to kill that Collector. I want that damage. Just the game kind of made it clear that I was not going to have that damage. Okay, here's my boss. So, Ice Tornado is kind of nice because not only does it do, you know, a fair amount of damage, it kind of gets work done, so on and so forth. Ice Tornado is also special because it has permafrost. So if I don't cast this spell, it just kind of does, it just stays in my hand. You know, it doesn't go away. So I'm just not going to cast this Ice Tornado because I want to use it on these enemies once they get to this floor. Unfortunately, I did get 2 Weight of Contritions. I'm going to have to just take some of this damage, unfortunately. Because I have other things I want to cast. So we're going to cast Harness the Titan, which is going to buff her, and then is also going to apply Sap. We're going to go ahead and Echo Snare, so we're going to apply Reap to all of these enemies. They're going to take some extra damage. And then you'll notice that now the damage calculation says I just win. So now I'm going to go cast the Weight of Contritions to take no damage. And then we'll just fight to win. That Sap is doing a lot of work. It's causing my enemies to deal less damage, which means that I'm able to do more and more and more. We have some spells options. So we have the Crystalline Siege, which applies Frostbite to enemy units. It's another consume option. So I like this as an option. Frenzied Swarm applies Daze to enemy units, so it means enemy units will not attack me that turn. Really useful for setting up or if something bad is going on. The Guardian Stone would have been nice a while ago, but I really don't want to have to deal with this capacity. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go for the Frenzied Swarm, so I can daze my enemy units. Let's see. And then Ancient Resonance is just a damage spell, which deals damage to enemy units based on how much charged echoes I have on the floor. I think we're going to go ahead and go for that. Okay. So, now I get choices. To the left-hand side, there's an artifact. I could upgrade my spells, and I can get some money. To the right-hand side, there's a purge portal to get rid of some things on this floor. A concealed caverns, so there's an event that will do something nice for me, and a merchant of trinkets, so I can get some artifacts. We're going to go to this right-hand side. We're going to go to the purge portal. I'm going to get rid of my last 2 train stewards. This just kind of helps even out my deck. It makes my deck more likely to give me things that I want. I currently only have 25 cards in my deck. And I want to draw specific cards. That's kind of the main reason we're doing that. Next, we're going to go to the Concealed Caverns. This allows me to, this event allows me to purge a card. So I'm going to get rid of a card out of my deck permanently. So we're going to purge this basic Frozen Lance. And it's going to give me a choice of other cards. So I can either get a random rare Stygian Guard card or random rare Wormkin card. I'm going to go for the Stygian Guard rare, which is going to give me another copy of Ancient Synergy, which I appreciate. So another really big damaging spell. Next, we're going to the Merchant of Trinkets. Trinkets usually cost about 200, as you can see. So I only get 1 of these, unfortunately. So I get 3 choices. All of these choices are very good. Serrated Mandibles says that when I gain 1 or more charged echoes to a floor, it applies Reap to a random enemy. So this is very good for getting rid of bosses. Decayed Decoy says that whenever Reap is applied, we just get 1 extra. And a Forgotten Name says that when I play my 3rd spell of the turn, all cards in the entire deck get +1 magic power for the rest of this battle. We will be constantly casting, so Forgotten Name is a fantastic card. That said, Serrated Mandibles gets me a lot of damage really easily. It allows me to add damage up really quickly. So we're going to go for that. This is especially good against, like, a boss. And then in the Divine Temple, I can purge a card, so we can, again, get rid of a card permanently. Generally, we want to purge cards. We want to get cards out of this deck that are not as strong as we would want them to be. And then I'm going to go ahead and apply Spell Chain to Harness the Titan. Spell Chain says that by casting Harness the Titan, I will get another copy of Harness the Titan that will cost 1 more. Thing is, Harness the Titan only costs 1 right now. So I will get a stronger attacking version of it on the next, immediately after, that costs 2. Which is generally worth it. So I can set up on floor 1 here. Which seems solid. So we're going to go ahead and set up on floor 1. Okay. Put the lady of the house on floor 2. I just don't want her to take space here, because I need the space I have. She has an effect called Burnout. Burnout ticks down every turn. When Burnout runs out, the unit dies. I don't have the spells in this deck. I'm not part of one of the clans that actually works the Burnout. So there's really nothing I can do with that unit. So we'll just let her do that. She'll go ahead and kill that collector, so there will be bonuses there. Now, unfortunately, I got my Lodestone Totem at the exact same time as I got my Nameless Siren, and that's just not a very positive combo. I'm going to play the Nameless Siren, because that's the most important card I have. The Nameless Siren kills things. So unfortunately, the Lodestone Totem's just going to have to wait. I'm going to have to hope I see it again later. And I really need to try to kill this Clipped Guardian. So I'm kind of casting everything I have to try to get damage here, and it's dead, which is good. It just has a lot of health, and it does a fair amount of damage, and I just do not want it getting to the top of my train. Let's see. How do I... Let's go ahead and Flash Freeze. This will remove that card permanently from my deck. And we're going to Dazed these guys. So they're going to do no damage. I'm just mostly trying to buff my Siren here. So they're going to do no damage, and now they're all going to die. And that's what we're trying to do in this deck, is we're basically just trying to say, no, 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 all of you die. That's the way this deck works. So we're going to use Harness the Titan. We're going to double buff all of my spells. So you can see now these do a lot of damage. And we're going to apply a bunch to kill you, and apply a bunch to kill you. Let's get a lot of damage in. Unfortunately, both of these guys are going to advance to the next floor, so I will have to figure out something for them. The game may have given me options here. Okay, so let's see. So let's Echo Infusion. We're just going to give you some more health. And then we're just going to Ancient Synergy these guys. Just kill them both. I just don't want them going anywhere. Okay, so now it's boss time. Now, this boss is a particular pain in my ass, because this boss has stealth. And stealth does exactly what you would think it does. I can't attack her for multiple turns. So we're going to try to deal as much damage as we possibly can to her. And unfortunately, due to the way stealth works, I'm only going to get 73 damage on her. One of the reasons you don't necessarily stack up on floor 1 against this particular fight. Drop the Titan Sentry back in. Let's go ahead and harness the Titan. Deal 11 damage. Proclamation. I'm doing everything I can to kill her. The problem is, again, she has stealth, so she's just not taking damage from me. I'm trying to see if we can maybe get her to a point where she will not actually, she won't actually win. Okay, so she's going to deal some damage. Let's see if we can actually kill her. Does not look good. Nope. Oh, we did. We beat her. Wow. Okay. Was not expecting that. I wasn't counting the actual damage numbers that were on offer. Kind of amazed that we lived. Okay, the game wants to give me another Divine Artifact. Yeah, it was a very, very close one. So we're going to see if we can somehow, like, survive these next couple of fights. I'm going to be going to the left-hand side, mostly because of the Pyre health here. But we're also going to get to go to Concealed Caverns, so we'll get some effect. All of these choices are very good. I think we're going to go with the Stygian Guard Spike. All of these they're consumable cards with X in the cost, so the amount of effect that they do is based on how much Ember I happen to spend on them. Okay, that's very good. All of my units are now upgraded. I have no more upgrades to do. And all of those spikes kind of do very strong, very good effects. So I had to make a choice which one I wanted. So I chose the one that applies sap and frostbite to an enemy, because it's very good at allowing me to kill bosses. And also prevents bosses from doing a lot of damage to me. So this is probably going to be a fight where we're going to be setting up on floor 2, not floor 1. Oh, and we got a Siren of the Sea. Unfortunately, she is not as upgraded as I would like her to be. Let's see. How do I want to do things here? So she's a card that kind of requires setup. She doesn't just emerge from the womb good. So I think we're gonna have to not. I think we're just gonna play her and just let her do a little bit of damage and die. She's not the mermaid I have. She's not the sun that's actually upgraded, unfortunately. Okay. So I do have a Spike of the Stygian. I am going to go ahead and use that. That's going to apply Sap and Frostbite. We're going to go ahead and apply that to Fell. I need to kill this thing, though. I need this thing to die. And we're having a little bit of trouble because I haven't been able to actually get my mermaid yet, so we're not getting damage in on this Guardian. It has a lot of health. It's going to kill me if it actually gets to the end here. But I don't know if I have any way to actually stop it from actually reaching me. Okay, let's play you here where you belong. Apply some Frostbite. Try to, yeah, it's just gonna kill me. There's not really much I can do there. This was a really unfortunate way for this to end up. Oh, no, it died. Okay, we live. Cool. Do I have to worry about this one? No, you're just gonna die. Cool. Okay, we're good. Kill you. You sweep, so I want you dead as early as possible. And once again, we are very much just trying to stay alive. Unfortunately, my tank is going to die really quickly here. Let's see. My Ancient Synergy, which kills one of you. Okay, you're gonna die. Cool. So we're very much playing by the skin of our teeth in this fight. Trying to see if I can somehow get rid of this dude. There we go. Our tank is still alive. I don't know how our tank is still alive, but I am actually killing things before they can actually get to our tank. Belle is on her final wave. She's going to start attacking. We don't really care about this bottom floor. I I would have loved to forced contamination Fel and give her melee weakness, but unfortunately no such luck. Do I want to... Okay, this is what we're going to do. Doing this on purpose. He's going to come back next turn. I want him to have more health than he had. Okay, deal a bunch of damage. Deal some damage. Apply sap. Okay, so unfortunately, we're only dealing 1,165 damage to Fel, which kind of sucks. That's not nearly enough damage to kill Fel, but we may get lucky on the next floor, depending on what I get. She's going to take 82. Now it's 167. Nah, it's only 135 because I did that. And unfortunately, Fel kills me. Hello. Okay. Okay. Fel is where a lot of runs come to die. It's okay. We'll keep trying. These are the versions of Tethys that I do not want. Versions of Tethys I do not want. There we go. Okay, what are our options? We do have some consume cards, but I think energy at the start of battle is probably my best option here. And then, yeah, playing 3 spells increases the amount of damage all my spells do. That's gonna make Tethys strong. Tethys is gonna get strong as the battle goes on. I need someone to stand in front of Tethys. Thank you. Let's see. I need to kill you. Kill you. Kill you. Kill you. Tethys lives! Now, Tethys ain't gonna live much longer. Bad things about to happen to Tethys. This guy is just an absolute tank. He has a lot of health. He has a friend in the back that I couldn't do anything about. Thanks for hanging out, Nice Gravy. I hope your sleep is good. Sweet dreams. And maybe I'll see you next time. Let's grab the Mollusk Mage. Absolutely gonna grab an Infused Proclamation. Okay. We'll try for Cocoon meta. We'll see what happens here. This could end extraordinarily badly. I do have a Siren. So we're starting off pretty strong. really kind of be on the lookout for a spell that reduces size, or reduces requirements on the Bog Deep Cocoon. And we are not setting up on floor 1. Let's go ahead and flat kill you. I don't really have a place I can set up the Bog Deep Cocoon without it just dying. I can't set it up here because I need the Siren to be able to set up here. Now, you are annoying. Really nothing I can do about you. God, I hate hasters. Oh, and you have armor. Fine. Sweeping boss. We only have 6 health going into the future. Take Mollusk Mage. Let's take the Echo Transfer. I think we just take the Echo Transfer. I think we take the Guard. Okay. So I have my main floor effectively set up now. She already has Quick. Let's go ahead and build you up. And we're going to put a Quick on the Bog Deep Cocoon. No! Damn. That multi-strike would have been nice. We can Minor Reflection the Bog Deep Cocoon. Which I'll go for. It means I get to put it... Not now, but I will get to put it on the same floor as everybody else, starting the next fight. Right. I really don't want to set up on floor 2. But I also don't want to set up on floor 1. She's gonna get some armor because of that. Not a lot of good options there, though. So I could half-hatch this thing already. I think we go for it. Can't do anything with Echo Transfer. I mean, we can drop him. Where are all of my spells? There they all are. Okay. Drop you. Drop you. Drop you. Drop you in the back. It's one off of patching. Close. Okay, we're gonna get our one. Cool. Here. Have a friend. Okay. Big ass bog worm. Took us a while to get it on the floor, but it arrived. What's our rare? Hard choices. And we're gonna go for Harness the Titan. Yeah, I think we're just gonna go ahead and skip and go for size. Okay. So should be able to fit everybody now. No real appeal on the left-hand side, and we honestly need the health. Okay. Could put 30 magic power on something. Let's put that on the proclamation and just have it be stupidly powerful. I really want to get like holdover and cost 0 on Harness the Titan. So I think we're gonna go ahead and skip that particular upgrade. Spikes 4, okay. You're gonna be a problem. Annoying. Fortunately, we don't have the stun option this time. But I don't think there's really much... Well... I have to kill you. Okay. Smack you good. Hit you good. Teth is gonna die. So we don't get our free spells anymore, which is kind of a problem. Oh, great. I think we die now. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm gonna call it there for a bit and go get something to eat. Thanks for watching. Catch y'all next time.